Hi, I'm Dave Saylor, and I'd like to tell you my faith story. And it begins a long time ago when I was in my 20s. I'm a pastor now, but this isn't a pastor story. This is a people story. I'm a people just like everyone else, and I certainly was back then. Well, I had a pretty good upbringing. I had a supportive family, and I had a girlfriend that I loved, and I'm married to her now. And I really didn't have a lot of deep crises in my life. Certainly not anything that drove me to search for God and find Him. And I'd be honest with you, I grew up in a nominally Christian home. I guess if someone asked me if I was a Christian, I would have said yes, but it really just went that deep. But it didn't really mean much. I didn't really even know if I even believed that God existed. But then I had a friend who was a follower of Jesus, and he asked me and told me about Jesus, and he believed that God was definitely real and that Jesus was really God's son. And he told me about the story of Christianity, that God sent his son, his only son, to come to earth to do for me and everyone else what only he could do, which was to forgive my sins. I knew I was a sinner. I've had plenty of opportunities to prove that up to then. And not only to forgive my sin, but to restore me to a relationship with God that's meaningful. Well, I didn't even have a relationship with God. I didn't even know he existed at that point. But there was something in me that wanted to explore that, because I realized that even though my life wasn't a bad life, if God was real and if Jesus is God's son, then to just blow that off, I would miss something really important, because he's the one that created me, and he must have a better plan for my life than I could ever come up with. So I took him up on it, and I began to try to find some answers to the questions I had about God, and some of those came. I started to read the Bible, and as I did both of those, I began to believe in my heart that this really seemed true, and Jesus really was his son. Now, could I say that he definitely was? No, but there was a kind of a faith that was growing in me. I don't know where it came from back then. I do now. It says in the Bible that God brings faith into our lives. But anyway, through that exploration, there came a point in my life where I still didn't have all my questions answered. I still didn't know for certain, but I was ready to talk to God and say, God, if you're real, and I'm not even sure about that, I'm banking my life on Jesus Christ, and I'm going to put my trust in him. And if it's real, I'm going to know it, and if it isn't, that's going to show itself too as time goes on. Well, guess what? It was so real. That was the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life, and that happened 45 years ago, and I could say that the reality of God and Christ is even stronger today than it was when that first happened. And I've had many ups and downs in my life, and problems and successes. And the thing is that God has always been with me. Now, how did it happen? I kind of just follow the pattern of the Bible. There's a verse in Romans chapter 9 that says, if you confess with your lips that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that he's risen from the dead, that you will be saved. And that's basically what I did. I just talked to God, and I said, God, I don't know it all. I don't even understand it all, but I feel like I believe in your son Jesus, and there's things I don't know, but I'm going to just put all my trust on him now and start to follow you. And if you're real, you're going to make that known to me. And that's what I did. And in the days and months ahead, he proved himself to be true. And here's the thing. I have met hundreds. No, I would say I've met thousands of people since then who have made similar faith commitments to God. And I don't know one of them that would say that it was not the best thing that they ever did. And I would say for you, and I don't even know who you are, that if you're considering this and you will take that same journey, that you'll find the same experience with God, that he is real, really there, and he has a son who loved you and died for you. You can talk to him, and you can ask him into your life, and he will show himself to be true. Well, that's my faith story. I'm sticking with it, and I want to thank you for listening to it. And if I can do anything to help you, to take your next steps in your faith story, please feel free to contact me using the email on this video or going to one of the contact cards on the website and fill it in, and I'll get it, and we can have a dialogue, and I'll do anything that I can do to help you on your faith journey. Thank you. God bless.